Well, hello and welcome all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land to the Texas Special YouTube channel. In this third installment of the Model Railroading 101 for beginners, once again this is aimed at the O-gauge guys in the audience, well, guys and gals. You've heard me mention numerous times in product reviews scale, standard O, O27, and I'm sure more than a few of you have wondered, even though I've touched on it before, what exactly that means. So we're going to break that down, exactly what that means. So we have a scale MTH boxcar here. We have a standard O Lionel boxcar here, and we have a O27 Lionel boxcar here. Now all three of these run on the same gauge of track, and the couplers are all compatible with one another, so you can run these three, even though they are different styles of trains. You can run them all together on the same track, on the same train. The difference is the size, the scale proportion, and level of detail. Each one of these three cars will operate on O27 curvature track. Now that is not always the case with O scale trains. But for a fair amount of these scale items, you can run them on O27 curved track. So to start off with, we have the scale boxcar. Now, as I said, this is an MTH Premier scale boxcar. This is a 1 in 48 scale boxcar. So you have the grab irons, you have the detailing on the door, you have the freestanding separately applied ladder, you have the detailing on the trucks there. Of course, you have underframe detailing, and Lionel is the same way. They have more freestanding details and underframe detailing and things and such of that nature. You have a separately applied walkway up top. You've got, in this case, you have the little hatches up top. So you've got more detail, and you have a true 1 in 48 inch scale size. Now, as with everything else in life, you get what you pay for. This brand new is going to be a $70 to $80 boxcar. You can get it for a fairly good price on the used market for anywhere between $40 and $60, depending on whether it comes with its original packaging or not, the condition of whether or not some of the details are broken or not, whether the paint is scarred or marked up or scuffed or not. That all factors in. But as I said, if you want scale, detail, and size with O-gauge, you are going to pay for it. Now, next up, you have standard O. Now, standard O is mostly a Lionel thing, but a lot of your, like for instance, MTH Rail King cars fall anywhere between traditional O27 and standard O for the detailing and size and things of that nature. So for your standard O, you've got the scale size. Okay, this thing is the same dimensions as the MTH boxcar and as a scale Lionel boxcar. you still have a fair amount of detailing. You've got the grab irons, you've got the ladder. Now, instead of separately applied, they're going to be cast on. So you have all the majority of the important details. You have, the slightly undersized stirrup step there. You have all of the important details, and you have the underframe detailing, and you have a one-piece walkway that's separately applied on the roof. Standard O is a good compromise between the scale size, the scale detailing, without having to pay the full scale price. So brand new, in modern day dollars, this would be anywhere between a $45 and $60 freight car in roughly modern day dollars, because and of course 027. Now, as you can see, this guy is smaller. It's physically smaller as compared to the standard O car and the scale car. Now, this guy is specifically engineered to be able to operate on 027 curvature track, as the name implies, 027. You have cast on ladder, no stirrup steps, cast on grab irons, some minimalistic door detailing. The rails on the doors are not as, scale looking or scale defined. You still have a fairly decent amount of effort put into the paint job on this thing, which the paint schemes and such are not really what make a model 027 or standard O or O scale. But all I'm trying to do is show you the pros, cons, and the comparison in between them. Another big thing that separates the 027 models from the O scale and the standard O, here on the roof you see there is a walkway just like the other two. The difference is the walkway is actually cast on as part of the roof. So it's not a separately applied freestanding detail like on the standard O and the O scale boxcar. And the underside of the car is just a blank sheet. There's no detailing at all on the underside of this thing. But as I said, it will operate on curvature as tight as 027, and every car here featured will operate on 027 track. So the fact that a freight car or locomotive can operate on 027 does not necessarily make it an 027 style of O-gauge train. That just means it can run on really tight curves. What differentiates the three types of trains is the amount of detailing. So again, one more time, just for comparison, this is the 027 boxcar. You have the important stuff there, the door, the walls, the rivet detailing, the trucks. It's all of the important stuff is there. There's just not as much detail put into it as otherwise there could be. So you can actually see the roof a little better. Standard O, which is going to be your I'm not going to say perfect compromise, but most perfect compromise you're going to find for scale size, some of the scale detail, but not scale price. So this is going to be a good go-between if you want full-size O-scale trains, but you don't necessarily want to pay O-scale money. Again, a little bit more detail, a little bit more effort put into it, for lack of a better way of putting it, but you're still not at the upper echelon just quite yet. And finally, O scale. And this is an older model. This is not new. The new O scale stuff is even more detailed than this. And Lionel does offer standard O style cars in their current lineup. So you still have the option for all three if you're going Lionel. If you're talking about MTH, then your options really are going to be 027 with their Rail King line or Scale with their Premier line. So detail and realism is going to be O Scale. Detail and realism at a reasonable value price, standard O. And you just like toy trains and you really don't care about the details, or you're running on tight curvature track, 027. I hope you found this video to be entertaining and informative. I thank you guys for watching. Texas Special out.